Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Saturday, May 27th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with the Night of Champions Go Home edition of WWE Smackdown, aired last night on Fox and recorded May 19th at the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. The show closed with an in-ring brawl between the Bloodline and undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, with Solo Sikoa helping to turn the tide and helping Roman Reigns and the Usos get the upper hand.
Hey, a stunner! Owens with a stunner to Reigns! And now the Usos going after the Tag Team Champions! And the fight now spills out the ringside! What the hell have we just witnessed?
Prize Fighter beating the hell out of Jimmy.
And now Solo Sikoa with a spike. And another one. Solo laying out the Tag Team Champions.
The segment ended with Reigns holding up all 4 tag team title belts. He and Sikoa are scheduled to challenge Zayn and Owens for the Tag Team Championship today at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. The main event match of the show just prior to the closing segment saw AJ Styles defeat Karrion Kross. Styles is scheduled to face Seth Rollins today at Night of Champions to determine the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He spoke about the upcoming match backstage following his win over Kross.
What'd Seth say? He was invincible? He can be unstoppable? He can be Seth freaking Rollins. But he can't be phenomenal. I am phenomenal. And I'm going to put a phenomenal beating on him tomorrow night en route to becoming the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
In the opening match, Austin Theory made his 8th successful defense of the United States title and his first on SmackDown, defeating Sheamus. In other results, LA Knight beat Rick Boogs. Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi defeated Bayley and Io Sky when Rodriguez pinned Bayley, and Cameron Grimes pinned Ashante the Adonis of Hit Row. Following Grimes' win, he was attacked by Baron Corbin. All Elite Wrestling presented Rampage last night on TNT, featuring matches taped last Wednesday night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. The opening match featured the Acclaim teaming up with Billy Gunn to defeat the La Faction Ingobernables trio of Derlistico, Preston Vance, and Roosh, when Max Caster pinned Derlistico. During the show, the Hardy Boys revealed that Hook would be their new tag team partner for Sunday night's Double or Nothing pay-per-view match against Ethan Page and the Gunn Brothers. Hook was named as a replacement for Brother Zay, who was taken out of the match due to injury. In other results, Big Bill and Lee Moriarty beat the Best Friends in the main event, and Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida upended Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose. Following the match, the Outcasts were shown in the back with an apparently injured Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
That's the women's world champion.
That injured shoulder. Tony Storm. The Outcast attacking her while this match was going on.
That's the champ.
Vicious.
And in the third major North American show televised last night, Impact Wrestling presented the 3rd annual Under Siege live on pay-per-view from the Western Fair District Agriplex in London, Ontario, Canada. All 5 defending champions kept their titles on the show, with Steve Maclin making his 2nd successful defense of the Impact World Championship, pinning PCO in a no disqualification match in the main event. In other successful defenses, Ace Austin and Chris Bay made their 4th successful defense of the Impact World Tag Team title, defeating Subculture. Joe Hendry retained the Digital Media Championship for the 9th time with a disqualification win over Dirty Dango. Trey Miguel defended the X Division title for the 8th time with a victory over Chris Sabin, and Deonna Purrazzo made her 3rd successful defense of the Knockouts title, beating Jordan Grace. Due to stipulations of Grace's match with Purrazzo, Grace will no longer be able to challenge for the Knockouts title as long as Purrazzo holds it. Also on the show, Trinity made her Impact pay-per-view debut with a win over Giselle Shaw via submission, and Nick Aldis also won by submission over Kenny King in his first one-on-one Impact pay-per-view match in 8 years. Aldis spoke backstage after the match in an Impact social media exclusive.
So right now, I'm here at Impact Wrestling, and I have my sights set on the world title. I made that abundantly clear from day one. But when people like Kenny King step up to me, I take that as a personal affront, but I also see it as a professional challenge, which is why I came to Impact Wrestling in the first place, because I want to put myself against the very best to prove that I'm the very best in this industry today. And today, Under Siege, you just saw step one.
In other results, Jake Crist, Rich Swann, and Sami Callihan beat The Design, and Alex Shelley won a 6-way match over Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Edwards, Jonathan Gresham, Moose, and Yuya Uemura to become the number 1 contender to the Impact World title.
Shell shock! Shell shock! Shelley is the number 1 contender to the Impact World title!
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner and number 1 contender, Alex Shelley!
Alex Shelley is headed to Against All Odds. Can he finally climb the mountain? One step closer to the championship goal that has eluded him throughout his time in Impact Wrestling.
In news from Japan, the finals of New Japan Pro Wrestling's 30th annual Best of the Super Juniors tournament have been set, with Master Wato defeating Speedball Mike Bailey and Titan beating El Desperado in the 2 semifinal matches presented yesterday in Tokyo. Wato and Titan are scheduled to meet in the final match of the tournament tomorrow in Tokyo, with the winner getting a shot at IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi. Australian wrestler Chris Weiss of 0-1 ended Masato Tanaka's nearly year-long reign as 0-1 World Champion yesterday in Tokyo, defeating the 30-year veteran in just under 16 minutes. Tanaka, the original holder of the 0-1 World title back in 2007 and a 6-time champion, had held it on this occasion since regaining it from Takashi Sugiura in June of 2022. And in news from outside the ring, Bret Hart's star on the Canadian Walk of Fame in Toronto was officially revealed yesterday. Hart was present for the Sidewalk Star unveiling ceremony in downtown Toronto's entertainment district, along with other new inductees, such as actor Graham Greene and R&B singer July Black. Other inductees who were not present included Keanu Reeves. Although the star was finally unveiled yesterday, Hart was actually awarded the honor back in 2021 when he was inducted by Chris Jericho. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.